Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Wired Customs, and I've decided to do a bunch of shorter videos of assembling a Flathead Ford. I'm in the middle of this one, so you're gonna miss out on some stuff, but we're gonna hit a lot of key information here. We're gonna start with installing the valves, taking the valves out, installing new head studs. Then we're gonna have a video on installing heads, oil pan with the oil pan seals, front, timing cover gaskets, stuff like that, guys. So like, subscribe, and share the channel. Let's get started. All right, so I already have this valve assembled. You assemble it on the bench. So the type of valve we have here is a mushroom valve. This is an early style valve. The top of the valve doesn't have keepers. It's mushroomed itself. The keeper for the spring here slides down over that mushroom, holds the whole spring in, and obviously here's our valve guides. So this is a really easy setup, and what we're gonna do is just slide it into the block here and try to push it all the way down. We wanna make sure we have the cam positioned to where it's the lowest point for that particular valve. Now I'm gonna move the camera over here so you can get a good view inside the valley here, and I'll show you how to install these keepers. Very simple. All right, so the hard part is going to be doing it and getting it to where you guys can see it at the same time, but here we go. What we have here is we need to make sure that the guide assembly here is lined up. Sometimes they can get compressed on the spring crooked, so double check that. We're going to slide this in here, push it all the way down. We have our keeper ready, and this is our pry bar. Hopefully you can see it. This is the Offenhauser. I think this is the Offenhauser one. You can get them old or you can buy them new. I just buy this kind of stuff new. No need spending extra money on old tools. So when I pry this down here, the valve guides are going to slide down too. There's two valve guides. It's split in half because this is a mushroom tip valve. You can't just slide on the keeper right through it because the mushroom on the end of it. So when we compress this down, we need to make sure that both of the guides come down together and they both get clipped in. So what I'm going to do is look in there, and I want to put the split facing out so I can see the split. So I can't see it there. I'm going to move it to where I can see the split. I want to make sure that the split is facing me, so when I compress this down and I put the keeper on, I can make sure that I get both of the valve guides down. I make sure I get both of the guides inside my keeper, which is this here. Okay, I got it. I had to fight it. That's just how flatheads work. So hopefully you can see something, but I'm going to bring the camera closer so you can get a better look. So I have the camera sideways. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get you a good view. So when the C-clip is fully on, the valve guides here, it's going to be recessed up into the block. If I didn't get it on all the way, it'd be sticking out some. It'd look different than the rest here. So you can see two. Make sure you got a big piece of steel right here, and the C-clip is not underneath it. We want the C-clip inside the valve guides themselves. So that's what it's supposed to look like, guys. Sometimes you just got to sweat it out a little bit. Especially with these split guides, you're fighting two different sides. When I was prying it, one would pry down a little bit, the other one wouldn't. So I got my little flathead screwdriver in there and pulled the other side down so they're even, so I could get that C-clip in there to hold the guides themselves. So that's what it looks like properly installed. All right, so this could be for educational purposes or not, but what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just using my phone to make sure all the guides didn't get pushed up, make sure I didn't miss it, making sure that the C-clip is in the right spot on the guides. So you guys can learn from what I'm doing and use your phone to make sure they're all proper and in the right location. So it looks like all the C-clips and the guides are all even. Now you could miss one guide and push it up into the intake area or the exhaust area and have a really bad time trying to diagnose that later. So grab your phone, stick it up like this, turn the camera on, and look at all your guides before you are done. All right, now taking this back out, theoretically, is the same process, but backwards. Now there's two different versions of valves. Obviously, we have the mushroom tips and this one. Then there's other later valves that have the keepers on it, similar to like a small block Chevy. You guys should be familiar with that. With these mushroom valves, you can't get them out of the valve guides because they're mushroomed on the end. The keepers, you can get them out of the valve guides. I bring that up because a lot of times the valve guides are what's stuck inside the block when you're trying to disassemble this. So worst case scenario, guys, you can cut the valve spring all the way down the middle twice, peel it open, get the valve spring out of there. Then you can use your pry bar to pry the keeper, or to pry the valve guide out of the block. That's the hard part. A lot of times those valve guides break. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. I mean, you could fight it, one valve, for a very long time and have a huge fight of a process of getting this all apart, all the valves apart on a flathead that's been sitting for a long time or that's really, really old. Another option that you guys could have for a mushroom style valve is cut the bottom of the valve off, which is terrible, and pry that valve out of the guide. Once the valve is out of the guide, it's very easy to hammer the guides down into the block and it comes apart. That's another option. I just want to let you guys know your options, even though that's a terrible option, that's expensive, replacing all these valves, stuff like that. But I want to let you know that's a possibility. Now, if you have the valve type that doesn't have the mushroom on the bottom and you have the keepers, you're in luck. You could do that process where you sacrifice the valve springs, which is something you should replace anyways if you're this far into the process. Don't worry about keeping valve spring, guys. Unless you're tearing it down because it has a malfunction and you're not replacing everything, you're not doing a valve job, all that kind of stuff, yes, keep the springs. But if you're rebuilding a flathead, trash all the springs. Get rid of them all. But what I'm saying is you can cut that spring, throw it away, then you could pry this up, get the keepers off of it, and pull the valve out, extract the valve. Then, like I was saying before, the valve guides are very easy. When they're stuck, it's way easier to have the valve out and hammer them down into the block and get it out of there. So I just want to let you guys have that information. You make the best choice for whatever situation you have, whatever valve you have. There's not one way to do all this. There's a bunch of different guys who have the big pneumatic tools. There's a lot of different options, guys. So keep that in mind. And hopefully this is good information for you. If you like this information, just like the video, share it with a friend. Thank you for watching, guys. Now that you have this information, go out in your garage and get your shift together. Real quick, guys, Wired Customs also has a Patreon. It's $5 a month. What that gives you is my undivided attention. I can help you walk through a build on your motor. I can help you walk through to diagnose any issues you have on your car, electrical, mechanical. I can help you rebuild your transmission, carburetor in, whatever you have. I can give you the technical advice to help you complete your build, your goal, or I can help you completely plan out a full build, going from banger to V8, small block, whatever you have. I can help you technically do motor swaps through Patreon. What that gives you is actually my undivided attention, because on the other social media platforms, I have friends and races and all sorts of stuff giving me updates and notifications. And it's hard to track all your guys' questions. But if I know all the questions are coming to one place, I know every day exactly where to go to give my technical advice and not be so worried about all the notifications from all these different places. So hop on there, guys. If you need help, subscribe to my Patreon. It's no strings attached. You can do one build, one carburetor rebuild I can help you with, help you pick the jets, whatever you have going on, $5 a month, then hop out. So give it a thought, guys. If you need help with something, there's no strings attached. Hop in, get whatever you need diagnosed or rebuilt, hop back out. So go and check it out.